What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends retro carded Spider-Man figure. And so here we have the retro carded Spider-Man posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Spider-Man here does come with two different head sculpts. We do have the head that he has on him right now with the open eyes, and then we also do get a head where his eyes are slightly squinted. He also comes with two pairs of hands. We get a pair of thwip hands, and then we get a pair of fists for Spider-Man. Other than that, we don't get anything else. No wall crawling hands, no web accessories, nada. Which is a little bit of a shame because I wanted to see more with this Spider-Man. However, he still looks impressive, so let's actually go over his details. And so here we have a closer look at the retro carded Spider-Man, and I really do like the way this figure came out, although the web work on his head could be a little bit better. You can see some of it doesn't actually quite go where it needs to. We have a couple of webs that should be touching the eyes, and unfortunately they don't. We have some that don't really line up. It could have been done much better, but it's still pretty good when you look at it from a distance. You only notice it when you're looking straight at it really up close, so it's not that big of a deal. Really do like the mask shape on this Spider-Man. It has a really classic feel to it. And again, he did come with two different head sculpts. As you can see, we have the wider eyes right here and then the slightly squintier eyes right here, which I think the paint work on this head is far superior in my opinion. But yeah, they did a good job capturing Spider-Man's likeness, especially in the head. They've struggled making Spider-Man heads in the past because the proportions look weird. I think this one looks the best in my honest opinion. Taking a look at his torso, this is a really classic looking Spider-Man. I don't know what more you would want out of a Spider-Man figure, but this does look really nice. I love the web work throughout the torso. I think it's done much better than the face. The spider emblem right here is done fantastically. And then again, you can see the web work going all the way around his body, which does look good. They did cut out a little notch to help with a little bit of articulation, although it really doesn't help too much. We'll get more into that when we have a look at his articulation. Spider on the back is done really nicely. It's not faded or yeah, faded is probably the best word because no blue is poking through on mine, so I really do like that. Really wish they went with the no pins for Spider-Man because we still have the red pin showing on this side and on this side. But you know what? It's never really bothered me. It's just the way they had to make figures, and before Hasbro went with the no pins, that's pretty much how it had to have been done. Web work right here on the hands, looking really impressive. Again, they don't really line up as accurate as you would like them to, but again, to be fair, if you're looking at it from a distance, you're never going to notice it. I do have them with the fists right now, and you can see just how nice that web pattern is. You can actually see it's not just squares, it actually has some curves to it, so really do like that. I think Hasbro did a really good job with the paint on this figure. Really do like the way it looks. It looks clean. Really love the blue and the red that they chose with it. Going down to his legs, you can see they really like this musculature on him. Taking a look at his boots, we have the same deal with the hands and the head, that some of the lines might not line up 100%, but as it stands, it still looks really nice. Actually on mine, I don't see too many problems on the feet, mainly right here, how some of the webs don't quite connect to one another. But again, if you're looking at this from a shelf, you're never going to notice that those aren't touching. It's only when you get up close that you're going to notice it. So Hasbro has done an amazing job with this Spider-Man figure. I really am not disappointed with it. Aesthetically speaking, it looks really nice, although I do think his shoulders could be just a little bit bigger, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I still think he looks like a slim, athletic build person, and that's pretty much what you expect Spider-Man to be. So that's his detail for you guys. There's really not much to say. He is a very classic looking Spider-Man, so let's actually compare him to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Spider-Man posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Spider-Man posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Spider-Man posed next to a Lightning Collection White Range and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have the retro carded Spider-Man pose next to the Pizza Spidey and the PS4 Spider-Man. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through his articulation really fast. Spider-Man here does sport a new dumbbell right here in the head. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't give you the range you'd expect it. You can look up about that much, and this is just using that lower ball joint right here. Can't really look down. Can tilt his head side to side really slightly, but we do have really nice head tilt with a joint here at the head. Can look up about that far. Although you do break up the sculpt, you can fix that with posing, and it's not that big a deal, honestly. Again, really nice head tilt using both those joints. We, of course, do get swivel at the neck. We do have butterfly joints here at the shoulders, and those do work really nicely. You can see they go back and forward quite a bit. We do have a ball joint at the shoulder, which does go out all the way horizontal. Does go all the way around, no issues there. Bicep swivel works fine. We have a double bend at the elbow. I would have liked to see better range at the elbow because it's Spider-Man and we want as much articulation as we can possibly get. We do have a swivel and hinge at the wrist. No problems there. We do have a ball joint right here at the torso, and it's a really nice ball joint. You can see it moves side to side, no problem. Goes back, goes forward, rotates left and right. So really nice range here. Really like that movement on the ball joint. Then we have a reverse ab crunch, and combining both those, he does lean back quite a bit. He leans forward exceptionally well. Really do like that. Because he has the reverse ball joint, he doesn't have a swivel, which I'm okay with the swivel being up here. It's not a big deal to me. We do have drop down hips on Spider-Man. Now, I don't know what it is on mine, but when I raise the hips all the way, this leg does sit straight, but this one always wants to sit off at an angle. I think it's just on mine. I can't get it to go straight unless I use that joint. So that's just on mine. It might not be on yours, so do be aware of that. He can kick forward to about there. Can kick back about that far. Goes out to the side, a respectable distance. That's better than what we've been getting with Spider-Man figures. He does have a thigh swivel up high, double bend at the knee. Works perfectly fine. It goes very far back. We do have a boot swivel, which works pretty good. We have a hinge in the ankle, which goes back and forward, and then forward facing pin for rocker ankle. Now, I know there are some people that say that he needed a waist joint because he can't throw proper high kicks, and that's pretty much how high he can actually kick. But I'm actually going to dispel that myth right now, because you can actually get him to throw out a pretty respectable high kick. All you got to do is work the articulation like you would any other figure, and once you get him in a good high kicking pose, it works perfectly fine. It's as if he has a waist swivel. So anybody who says he can't throw proper high kicks because of that lack of articulation, they're actually not posing the figure all too well, because that is a respectable high kick, honestly. So he does have a lot of articulation. You just got to mess around with it like you would any other figure. And I just wanted to point that out really fast, because I know a lot of people say he doesn't kick high, but I just dispelled that myth. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man pose for my final thoughts, and overall I really love this figure. I think this is a much improved figure over the original Pizza Spidey that we got. There was really nothing wrong with the Pizza Spidey, but he was kind of slender, more modern Spider-Man where he's a really slender athletic build. I think this probably encapsulates what I think of Spider-Man whenever I think of him. He's not really too skinny, but he's not overly muscular, and I think this figure does a really good job of capturing the athleticism of Spider-Man, but the right bulk for him. Now, if you are thinking of picking up this Spider-Man, I highly recommend you do. So if you're a fan of Spider-Man or just want a Spider-Man in your collection, this is a really nice figure. Now, I do have to point out that he does not come with any wall-crawling hands, and that is a huge downside to this figure. However, if you do have the 2-pack Spider-Man that had Mary Jane, those wall-crawling hands fit perfectly on this figure, which is the wall-crawling hand I have on him right now. I think wall-crawling hands are a must for every Spider-Man figure. The fact we've only gotten fist and thwip hands is a crime against humanity. Other than that, I think web accessories would have also been nice. We've gotten several good web accessories in the Marvel Legends line, and it's a shame they didn't get added on here. The articulation on the Spider-Man is fantastic. If you actually work around and mess with it for a while, you'll find out he can do everything every other figure can do, and then some. He is a really articulated figure. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Marvel Legend and Spider-Man videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.